Of course I properly switched on. Having to press the activator button, what else would you expect?
Thank you. I didn't do my sound check. What a shame I didn't do my sound check like I normally do. Oh, damn it. Thanks for telling me. Let's just make sure I got some sound. I've been talking to myself. Oh my dear. Have I got any sound yet? I still don't have... Oh, there we go. Thank you. I didn't do my... Yes, I normally do a sound check. That's great. Thank you very much for telling me. I did click the two things. I must have missed the one. These little icons to switch the audio on are very small, and if you're trying to be quick, you can actually miss them. Oh, not a good start. Anyway, what was I saying? Alright, where do I start? That's all gone a bit wrong, hasn't it? Never mind. So, basically, me and Gemini, under instruction of me, because I didn't really understand at first what I needed from the radio, cat-wise and command-wise, and how to set it up. I'm new to it, so I only started doing it a while ago. So now I've had a play with some boilerplate code, got it working a little bit. I've now realised what needs to happen and when. So, well, basically you can't send all the commands you want to send at once. You've got a serial stream and you've got to send sparingly, otherwise you just clog the system down. So what I've done is I put a display mode system based on this mode here, so I've still got more work to do on it, but basically go through here. So on this screen, say this will be the main. This is the main screen with the the band scope simulation on it and the frequency. So you can do things like that, and you can turn the dial. Okay. I've noticed my dial is turning slower than the rest, so I do need to look at that. That's nice and lively, because I've got at the minute I've got a mix of the old code and the new. So what I need to do is prove the new code. I need to get rid of the old code. Now I've got a bit of a parallel project going on here, because Mark came in and last week, and he's, bless his heart, he's been working hard on a cat control. He's seen me struggling initially, and he's gone ahead and created a fantastic cat control. But anyway, in the interim, I've changed because I now do it via display mode as well. I need to abstract away some of that stuff. So what I've done is I've started a little bit of a swapping over what I'm doing depending on display mode. So at the minute I've got various things done. So for instance, if I go into just change from SSB to FM, it changes the, you saw the icon change there, because I'm got the squelch down, it's receiving green just like the real radio, and I have to just bring the squelch up so it turns that on and off. And then if I was to just quickly pipe up, let's just go on to lower wattage, so I've gone to 5 watts. If I give it a bit of a shout, so I'll just go test only, G7UIV test only. So of course I'm in FM, so that's not a good thing. Good job I'm on low volts. Right, so I'm going to go back to USB, not USB, SSB. So if I do a test only, G7UIV test only, G7UIV. Yeah, so the meter swaps out for all the other meters basically. So we had this before, and I've got this sweep going on which doesn't do anything yet apart from push that across. So that's just a sweep across, ready for our next stage of the simulated water scope. We've got a lot of work to do yet, getting all these scales right. We've got a working span system, so all that kind of stuff, and speed. Obviously that's not set to do anything yet. I've got to integrate that. You can change it, but it doesn't. It changes the screen, but nothing follows it yet. So that will have to be done. And now the band scope, station scope. Sorry, this is. Let's find something to listen to. Let's see if there's anything on 40 meters. So I can't. I'm going on holiday soon with my radio, and I don't want to take the FT710 with me. It'd be great to take that with me, but I've got this 891 with an FC50, so tuners with it. So I've got a 3D printer cradle to go with it, some protective cage cradle, so I can just carry it and just sling it around without damaging any of the stuff. But then I want to run on a laptop just this software connected with a USB lead in the back, just to, I don't know, give me some extra search capability. So I'm gonna put in here, I keep saying this, QRZ login, so a separate floating input box that brings in your details of what channel you're on, the wattage and everything, brings it all in, which is normal stuff for a cat control. But anyway, so there's that. So basically at the minute, when I'm in this mode, I'll be not sending many cat commands backward and forward. In fact, I don't think anything will work. Let me just try and see what will work. So I'm still able to change the frequency, that's normal. I'm not sure if I'd be able to change it. Oh, you can still change it back as well. Now, I'm not sure if any of this would work. Let's try changing the USB. Now, let me try changing to FM. No, because in this mode, station scope. So what I'd need to do is work out whether I want to include. It's not a bug. It's because I haven't included it into this display mode. Because while we're doing this scanning, I suppose what we should do initially, I mean, when you're toggling, the one that does everything is this mode here. This is the one that does most things. And when I switch to station scope, it stops doing all this other stuff. So, I mean, it could initially do, when we do a scan, it could test for all these before it goes into the loop. So the idea is to keep the amount of packets, of serial packets, backward and forward down to a minimum, so we can go through as quickly as we can to the scope. And if we're trying to update all these other stuff, we'll be slowing this down. So yes, when you click in it and you start, you can do a quick test, get it to just read those values, the one-off, and maybe at the end again when it's finished. So if I go 80 meter scan, let's just go 80 meter scan. Now, it's not picking much up. Well, it is picking a lot up actually. So I'm not just wondering whether it is actually doing anything there. Tell you what, because we're not actually on, let me just raise that up a bit. Right, let's try again. So it's not doing the threshold, is it? It's alright, I know what it is. I've got a parameter off the old system that checks to see if it was over the threshold. So it doesn't look like it's doing it, does it? So if I raise that right up and then start again, yeah, it's still bringing them in. So the threshold's not working. So we've got to get that working again as well. So that's easy enough to do. It's just one variable that's not being updated. Actually, that was moving as though it was still scanning. So 401, so that looks like the full amount. Yeah, so it's bringing them in, but it's not actually. Yeah, it should. That was a weird one. Look at that. Yeah, so we've got to have a look at that. So I have broken some of this stuff. Let's see if anything else works. Obviously, the Morse code decoder is just a decoder. It just listens through the microphone. So we've got so many things on the go at once. So let me see. I think we'll fix the threshold thing first. Let's just blot that out. Let's fix the threshold problem. Just have a look at the code here. So basically, out of topic, but I came across your stream a week ago and the interface of the player stuck to me as how clean the visual is. It is perhaps a rendering image of a 3D model of the device. Let me read that again. Came across your stream a week ago and the interface of the player. Oh, the screen. Do you mean this? Is that what you mean? Struck me as how clean the visual is. Yeah. Right. So this is an AI rendered image. The skin is it rendered from basically pictures off a real radio or example photos. So it's gone ahead and altered the texture slightly. See how some of the stuff is still on. Hang on, let's bring that down a bit. Some of this is real, like that, and the ASU logo is real. The S isn't real. I put that on, and I put this text down there in the same style. All this has been made up out of pieces. So I've took a photo actually of the window and built it up and put a solid graphic in. And what I do is I have a blur effect. So when it changes from blue to green to red, the clear perspex actually, see how it's just shining blue there now. That blur, if I click on it, you can see a rectangle drop shadow effect, and there's a linear gradient brush in blue at the minute, but this will get changed to, so not only have you got, it's not just a picture. I could have just photographed a picture in transmit and that and receive and FM, but I want to be able to do more with this, so it actually bleeds with this gradient stop. It's a linear gradient brush effect, and its opacity is set to, doesn't show it there. There is an opacity on something or other. Can't remember where it is now. Somewhere in there there's an opacity. Anyway, what it does, it bleeds into the clear, just like a clear plastic would. If an LED was inside, it would bleed into it. So when if I say, for instance, if I start it up, at the minute you've got nothing, which is what I've got on the radio, which is nothing. So if I swap over to FM, we've got the squelch broken off, so you've got a little bit of green, the tiniest amount of green in here. And if I just key up to transmit, just quick one, you see it goes to red, just goes to red. It's just a small detail, but I mean you could have probably photographed it. But basically I can have any colour I want there. You've got red, green, blue and off. I could basically have any colour I want. So at the minute we've got Yaesu FT891S function style buttons. I can alter the wattage, and that actually changes the rig wattage just like that. Slightly different to the way the old way of doing it on the real radio. So let's put it back to 5. Now what would be nice to have, I suppose we should be able to click here and change the mode, bring up similar to that, like a span or a speed. Anyway, so this one is functional, sort of. So if I click that and I can scroll around, as long as I'm over this, I can scroll that around. You can also click and then use the scroll wheel to move it up and down. So basically I can do that same idea to a lot of it. And I get some extra buttons here. So it's mind-blowing how precise it looks. Some would assume it's manually modelled. Yeah, well, AI can come up with all sorts of stuff. Now, it would take a picture, then I don't know how much of it was real. Initially, I started with a half-size one, and then I realised it's okay on my computer with a big monitor, 1080p. But if you're off a laptop or something, you probably wouldn't be able to see a lot of it. So, let's put the squelch up. So, that is the reason. So you got CW. That's the reason I doubled the size. Actually, doubled the size. Plus, I think it was Gemini. It was trying to create this size anyway. So I thought, well, let's go with this size. Anyway, so it's sort of the dial's slightly different to the original one. This is the AI generation, but I've got it. When I do that, I blur it out instead of trying to animate the rotation. I blur it to show motion, a motion blur. But this one needs to be blurred as well. So we could do that as well, but that's just tinkering around. I'll sort that out. I can't remember what that does now. Scan 20 meters. So that's just I don't know what that does now. But anyway, so we're doing the waterfall a while because we broke it for about a week. We broke it. I was messing around a lot with the cat control and doing all sorts of trials and stuff. I've gone through about 4 iterations of it and back again. But I've got another one now. So let's say Mark's created one. He's very busy on it. I don't know if he's busy this week on it. So he does a more professional thing. But I just, I've got, when you just get something that works and it's very easy to add new stuff to it and take it away and put it in and out. Because I need to change modes and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, let's try and crack why we can't, why it's not updating the frequency. Because I've changed one of the variables here. This used to be the last frequency, but now it's the current meter reading. So, in order for it to be able to determine, actually it just needs to check the threshold. Last meter, oh yeah, it's doing last meter reading. It's great. That never changes. Because what I've done is I've put this now. I've got the signal strength equaling this. So I need to put that in there as well. And then it should start doing the threshold. Because at the minute it's adding everything. Because it's always. This will always be over the meter reading that never gets changed. Now, let me just make sure. I've slowly got to strip out all the old variables. I've got 2 systems going on at the minute. The old system and a partial new system and the recent yesterday system. So yeah, we've got all sorts going on. So anyway, I'm doing it. It's just doing it for me. I want this. I want to use it on this when I go on my laptop, portable. Right, let's try this out now. Let's see if it will work. So if I switch over to, oh, we're already in SSB. That's fine. Let's go over to 20 meters. Right, we haven't actually switched there because right, we're in what we need to do is go back to this one and then switch it to 20 meters. There we go. Yeah, so the bit for switching the band it's not being done in any other mode at the minute, so we are going to have to sort that out. So I should be able to do a scan of 20 meters now, and this should only go up if the threshold is exceeded. And it looks like it's carrying on going, doesn't it? So we'll see when it gets to the end. Yeah, because it's a beautiful radio, so I thought let's reproduce it on the screen. And as long as it can do all the controls, which I've got to put them in bit by bit. Let's just see. So I've got 561, and we've got 561, so that's sort of similar. Right, let's raise the threshold. According to me, my signal strength, background noise is less. So try again. Yeah, so it's not actually doing the formula. It's putting them all in, every one of them. So I need to go and have a look at that again. Right, so if the current, so this is the current reading. So I don't think that's got anything to do with it. We must be using the last reading somewhere. Right, so we've got the main loop. So we stop the main output serial loop, then we go into the set the RF gain so we can hear something. Turn it every time I press stop, it puts the RF gain so it blocks out the noise. Stop us sitting here with all the noise. Alright, let's have a look through. So here's some of the old commands I've been getting rid of. So we are querying meter 1. That was 0 earlier on. So right, we're doing last meter reading. So the signal strength threshold, let's have a look at that setting. Right, that's been passed into, yeah, so when we click on it, it's being passed in. So start frequency and end frequency, then we've got the frequency step, the found, yeah, okay. So somewhere in here I've probably broke. I'm no longer using the last frequency. So this is what the value used to be here, and it used to be being passed in here. But I'm not updating it, or I might be updating it. Add active station. There's probably one of these commands. So it's saying if the current meter reading. So we've got to make sure we are updating the current meter reading, which gets updated automatically now from whenever it takes in a meter reading. So we've got to ask for the meter reading. So maybe it's looking for 0 instead of 1. Let's try 0. I don't think that would make much difference, but I'll have a look. There's a lot of trial and error. It's only an LB, you know. It's only an LB. Currently, it's like a Windows tablet or PC it'll run on. So this should be stopping and only adding when the threshold is beaten. So this was broke about a few minutes, so it's doing them all, isn't it? Right, let's just come back down to it. So there's got to be somewhere in here. So it's just going through the frequencies. It's turning off the outgoing serial. So we need to be reliant on something. It's sending out a query for, it's changing the frequency. It's setting the frequency, then it's asking for the frequency. Oh, we have got different thing in there, so let's just update that as well. So the task delay is set from another program now. So we're going greater than or equal to the threshold, frequency, number of times emp signal. Okay, add active station. Let me have a look at that. It's just a simple thing. So for some reason it's always, I'll tell you what, let's just see what this is. Maybe never changing. So we'll update this debug statement with that. We'll have a look at the console. Oh, that's not going to run. I'm on the wrong debug level. Let's close that. Current debug, that's it. Let's just see if the values are changing, because if I don't read it in the right way, it won't actually change it. Right, let's have a look down here. Current. Oh, it is changing. Yeah, it is changing. It's got to be, otherwise it wouldn't be making different sizes. Right, so I'll tell you what won't be changing then. What probably isn't changing is this signal strength threshold. No, that won't change. Ah. Yeah, so the threshold. Let's find all references of this. Right, so there is no reference. So I'm passing it in to the function. No. Oh, there it is. It's being passed in. So once it runs, that's probably not a good way of doing it, because if I alter it mid-flow, it won't actually affect it. So I suppose we could, tell you what we'll do, we'll copy that out of there. I'll just put this in a little bit of a scan here. Where's it gone? There. So I'll just put that there for a minute. Oops, it's all gone a bit wrong. Right, let's just... Oh, it's all fingers and thumbs today. I'm supposed to be copying that. So let's go back to the top. Oh, down here. Signal strength. Let's compare the two. It won't be changing, it'll be fixed, so whatever I've passed in. Right, at least we can see it. Right, have a look. So it's showing the frequency. I'm still doing power in watts. Right, so it's not actually stopping it. Shouldn't be doing power in watts, should it? Oh, unless I may well be printing out everything somewhere. So that's finished the scan. Try and work out what's going on. Just close that a second, so I can scroll up the window and have a look what is going on. So obviously thousands of events coming down here every second, or not every second. Right, current radio frequency, operating mode. So I don't know why it's still doing operating mode. I think it's just printing a list out. Tell you what, let's find that list. So it'll be somewhere in here. Every time something gets changed, let's just find it, because I need to turn that off a minute. It's stuck. There it is. I know why. It's because I haven't put a control around it. Let's put a control around it, and we can turn it off for a bit, because that's confusing me to what I'm supposed to be looking at. So we'll put that in the all. If we want to debug that, we'll just bring that back again, so that'll be fine. So now we can see what's going on. Right, let's go here. So now it'll just be telling me what's going on. Threshold is 7. The meter is 85. So yeah, we're getting. Yeah, so we need to do a divide on that. Yeah, so. Oh, need to turn that off quick. Right, so go back up here, let's have a look. So the current meter reading is 67 and the threshold is 7. So it's always going to add it. So our last reading, we had something called last reading. Oops, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Right, let's go up here. So the last reading. We're not using the last reading anymore. So I've actually taken it out. So somewhere it was updating the last reading. And because I've taken it out of here, I no longer can. Tell you what, let's just bring it back temporarily. Last meter reading. I'll find all references to it. See if we're doing a calculation. Yeah, there it is. It's getting it from. It's getting it from. Right, so it needs to handle incoming data. So we need to do a bit of a. Yeah, get meter as an integer. So we're converting it. So that's what we're doing. We need to do that basically. Yeah, we need to do a bit of conversion. So let's put the conversion in. If we can do it in line, maybe. Right, so we need to get the meter as an integer. So the definition of that is, yeah, it converts the raw value and does something with it. Subtracts to get the overall, whatever. Yeah, it needs to do that. Maybe. So in that case, so it's storing the right value here. That's correct. But this one, yeah, it needs to be slightly different. Let's have a look. Hopefully this will cure our problem with the first entry in the list always being too big. As a side effect, maybe. Right. That's better. That's better. So it's only adding them if it beats the threshold. So the ambient noise floor or signal, if it's a signal in there, it beats the thresholds and it adds it to the list, or doesn't add it to the list if it doesn't beat it. Alright, so then we should be able to just click down. So we've still got that initial glitch there. That is not actually real, so we've got to sort that out. Unfortunately, there's not much data, not much going on the channels today. Pretty dead. There's one. Bit of noise. How do you do? How the devil are you? How you doing? There we go, Mark. Mark's awake. He's supposed to be working this week. Hope you're okay. Oh, found someone there. Why is it muffled like that? That's weird. Why it's muffled. Is he on a different band or? I'm at work with my feet on the desk and a bug count a merciful 0. No bug count, yeah. A bug's bug, so they're just something that hasn't been allowed for, programmed for. Are they really bugs? I don't think I've ever seen a real bug. An anomaly. The computers are precise. Someone's, I suppose, the debug. I'm sort of I use a debug as a tool. It's not really a bug. A bug would just appear at random for no reason. Yeah. So I don't know what frequency he's on. That's weird, it's like he's on a different band. Oh, here he is, here he is. There he is. More than precise, they are deterministic. Yeah. Yeah, so you get a bug in machine code, Z80 machine code, if you put the wrong instruction in. If you load a register from the wrong place. Did you ever print the 3D protection case? Yeah? Yeah, I did. I'll show it you. I'll show it. I just have me pill. Yeah. Got Iron Maiden. What did I do with it? Here it is. It's gathering dust, but I'll be putting it to use soon. It's coming on holiday with me. The only thing is the cover, because it was wider than the original one I made, it's tend to shrank at the end. So I need to make another one and make it slightly bigger. So it doesn't want to sit here. But I printed the plate separately. That plate was bolt on separately, so I could print. I had to print that like that, and then the plate I printed separately and bolted it on. Then you got this thing with the bolt-on sides, brass M3 brass inserts in here, and then you just screw it on, and you got a little microphone bracket. And yeah, so I've actually got to build. What have I got here? Let's have a look. So this is this bracket. What is this bracket? Oh yeah, I've got it now. I can't remember. No, this is the old one on the radio. So if you don't want your bracket, you put that on your radio, and then I've got another piece that you bolt to it under a shelf or down like that, and it slots on. At the minute mine slots on, and it slots on with the same idea as these slots. So I could put my radio in here and slot it in where that one is. But in the shack, I don't need to protect it. It gets in the way. So when I go portable, I'll put that in here, and then hopefully you can sling it around. And these are high enough for the cables not to get stuck on the. You can sit it like that on a desk as well. Sit it upright. And if you sit it upright, you can just spin that around like that. And the idea is you've got the same mounting system underneath. So I've actually got to design the next bit, which is the FC50 add-on. I think it's got the same hole centres. You can bolt two of these together. You could, what you do, I forget what you do now. Yeah, you put two of these together, and you put two clamps. But I've got to devise a way of putting the extra bit underneath. Yeah, so yeah, I did print them out, and it's on Maker World if you want. You've got a printer. Right, there's a lot of fuss about 3D printing at the minute. Oh, the tuner's an FC50. FC50. So I've got the proper, well, I don't say proper, I've got the tuner that matches the radio, basically. And the radio is here, you can't see it, but I can take it off, it just unclips off, like this. So I've got this one on an angle. Let me see if I can get it out enough to show you. Right, so I printed it out on an angle so it can be on the shelf but pointing down so I can see it while I'm working on it. But that's just, everything's 3D printed. So I undo that, put it into the other case, and when I finish this I just hold it up and push, and that's it. That's it. No screws, because you have another bit that screws on. I was just asking that question and you started saying the FC50. Ah, yeah, got you. Well, the old model, I'll tell you what, let's show you the model. Oh, I don't think I welcomed you, hang on. Welcome, let's welcome everyone. Welcome to the live stream. It's just me. All I'm doing, I make stuff for myself, but I live stream it. In case anybody's interested, that's all I do. Right, anyway, so... Did I just click that? Where's it gone? Oh, it's loading now. It's alright, it's on another screen. So let's shut this up by just scanning and stopping. That's it. I'll just close that down a minute. Right. Oh, what's this? Why has that suddenly become detached from the software? I always do that. I'm always knocking this and detaching it by some reason. And I've got to just drag it onto there. No, yeah, there it is. I'm always keen to detach it. Right, so let's bring... Oh, I loaded 2 lots. So it did actually load. I just loaded 2 lots. Right, let's bring this over here. This is the 3D program. Oops. It does a weird thing, this window does. It sort of coasts around. You can't see it. Right, here it is. So here's some stuff I've been printing. And there's the protective cage mount. Let's see if we can load up that. This is on Maker World, by the way. Now, is that the one on Maker World, or is that the one? That doesn't look like the latest one. That's probably the shortcut to Maker World. So let me find the right one. Oh, I'll just shut it down. Hang on. Skip the version. What is going on here? Got that many stuff running, it's crazy. Oh, look at it. I've let go and it's still floating around. It does that. It's the only program that does it. Bamboo Studio. So, library. Recently opened. So we've got that one there. Is that it? Maybe I did a separate thing. I'm not sure now. I put it all together. Ah, this is it. Yeah, this is the latest one. The one that you saw first was on Maker World. This is the one that's on my desktop. So there's the angle bracket I showed you. It's basically this one here with just 2 longer sides and corrected geometry so the holes stay centered. It's made out of just ABS. So and then you got your knobs, knob set. I did print some infills for them, but they just put a bolt in, an M6. No, it's an M4 bolt. Sorry, M4. They're not very good. It could be better. And then this one I especially like because I built it all up myself. It's out of 3 colours, and the font's not exactly the right font, but it's close enough. So to get round it, I had to print a base, a black base. Then I went and printed white, and then I printed the red on top. So you can see it's slightly. That was the easiest way of doing it, rather than having it inset. Then they got the holes that line up with the front bit over here. So you got the holes that line up with all this. So that's the way you print them. So I do need to add the extra bits onto if enough people ask for it. This is cool, mate. Glad you put it up. I don't have a printer, but my friend does. So I think I could get him to do for me. Yeah. So it does. It takes. Depends on. It does take a while, but everything's separate. It is your wings. You got your wings. So you need one for each side. You even got your mic. Hang on, I've forgotten it. I've been at so long doing that FT891 program. I forgot how to operate this software now. So there's your little mic holder. Alright, I've even got some spare brackets. These are modelled from the underneath of the radio. So if you ever break one of these off your baling arm, that's alright. This UI is absolutely rubbish on this software. So I model them, so you could actually print them out and replace them. Oops, don't move that. Right, yeah, so and then you've got these brackets. That's the old one. So that's the mount if you don't want a quick release. But if you want a quick release, you do this one. Yes, you do that one if you want the quick release mount. It fits in the same place as that one. And then if you want the quick release, hang on, the rest of it is this bit here. And all it is, it's a piece of plastic. Printed a piece of plastic out with an arrow on it. You can hardly see the arrow. Just about to see it there. Can you see it there? No. It's got an indent on it. So you put that, you line that up with the edge of your shelf, right, and it gives you the spacing, see the hole spacing, and put the arrow forward. And all you do is you put that infill. So these are counter sunk, and then you've got a spacer. So you've got your spacer there. That spacer goes underneath. And you get yourself a wood screw or whatever you're going to attach it to. You put that on top of there, then you put this on top of that. You put your screw straight through, and it's like a stencil telling, or a template where you can so you put all your holes in the right place. And once you've done that, this thing will slide straight onto it, on and off. So, because I obviously when I'm not portable, I want to use the rig here and clip it back on, but the only thing is I have to unscrew the force form screws, take it out the cage. But that other cage, you could turn it up. This one here, you can turn it, you can actually put your radio in and have a desk mount from it, you know. If you wanted to stop it moving, you just put one of them down on the desk, you know, or just have it loose like that. Yeah, so there's that one. What else did I make? Let's have a look. What else did I make? Can't remember now. Different versions of this. That's my setup when I had it set up. Right. Oh, I made an antenna switcher. That's pretty cool. But I made 12 and I kept 2. I gave one to Andy. Andy was a first time, you know, early follower of the channel, so he's always came on. Anyway, so here we've got all the plastics for a switcher and the graphics, the decal. Oh yeah, no problem. It gives me a break anyway. So this is the switcher. So your common comes in. I did sell. I made 12, and I've got 2 left just for me. I've just got 2 left. Here's the real thing. There's the real thing. Like, well, that fits on a stepper motor. That's the beauty of it. So you can have it on a stepper motor or not. I only sold them as manual, and I sold them at cost. I actually made a loss on them. And the reason I bought enough to make 12 is because to make this, the price of these come down to buy them in bulk. And I thought, oh, I'll just make 12. So it got the old call sign on them. But and I used one down here to switch from the FT710 to the, what's the other one? Oh, 891. And that's down here. It's a bit of a mess, so you can't see it. So I can't show you that because it's out of the camera's view, but it's just hanging there, and I just switch it. And you can put them in a stepper motor mount, so like that, and then you can put it in a weatherproof enclosure. So if you got this out in your garden, get yourself your weatherproof enclosure. Somebody asked me if I was selling one of these. They bought one of them. They must have seen it on YouTube because I never mentioned it. So you put your stepper motor in there, like that. Drop that in there, and it sits in a piece of plastic. And then you've got all your coaxes that clamps onto a pole. That bit does. And your coaxes and your signal cables come through the bottom there and into there. And this thing, it's angled. They're fluted like to stop the rain, so make the rain fall over it. So you just put that on top of there like that. And that bolts onto your scaffold pole, and you can switch it. That was the idea, to switch it from off a web interface. So even more things. Yeah, so switch it off a web interface. And we started doing the software for it. I'll just plug it in and be able to show you that quickly. So that is a project got to carry on with, really. This whole room is full of projects, current projects. It's full up of projects. Anyway, so let's come out of that. Oh, is there anything else on here? I've printed so much stuff, it's mad. Yeah, different stuff. That's funny. I made a coin. That's good. I like that. So basically, if you get these off eBay. Hang on, you get these little token things off eBay or whatever, only cheap, and you take the ring off it and you put it inside there. You push it in and you put the lid on top, and you end up with a coin, an RFID coin, which you can make a coin token acceptor or a coin acceptor. And it's RFID, so it's like a tag, you know, proximity. And you can see in here there's loads of coins, other coins, and I've got all this stuff everywhere. Anyway, it goes on and on and on and on. What was I about to show you? I did make something else for, yeah. Yeah, I did make something else. Now, will I be able to get it? Lift it up. Let's have a go. This is about as mad as it gets. If you're into ham radio, this is good. So I made this, and it's a what is it? I forgot what it was now. It's a fan dipole. Now it takes all 7 bands. So your Ampro whip bolts in there with a nut on the other side. That's your driven plate, and there's your ground plane plate. You've got a 1-to-1 balun. And this thing, you can either mount it with the aerials coming out both sides like that, and you can rotate it like semi-directional. You could have it sticking out like that, so it's vertical, and you could spin it like that, or rotate it, angle it, whatever you want. But the idea, it was going to be driven off a stepper motor again, so you can play around with it. But then I had another idea. This driven plate, if I put a hole in the middle, I could put it on my triple mag mount. Imagine you got your car, you've got a triple mag mount. Instead of having one Ampro in the middle, put this plate on it, and have all the Ampros for all the bands off it, like a DX Commander, where they all come out at once off this driven plate. You look a bit of a weirdo though, sat in a car park with 7 aerials coming off. But they do have them, don't they, on the little receive stuff. Anyway, so there's that. And it goes on and on and on. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, I'll show you the web interface. Have you tried it out yet? Oh no, no. I made what else I made as well. Yeah, I made this thing. This goes with. Okay. This goes with this, This is a cobweb, a cobweb antenna. Would be like a sky scanner. Yeah, you're right. Now these are insulators I made, and the idea is, you'd have to look at my past videos. You'll see a hex cobweb antenna. So instead of a hex beam, you've got a hex cobweb. So all you do is you suspend this in your garden with wires, guide wires. Then you wire the hexagonal different wire for each band, and you use these self-locking things. So you move these around along your wire, then you just do that, and they're on. I've got some bungees that hold it taut, and this carries the wire that goes round in the hex. So you have all these around that, and you got your end insulators. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. So that was a few years ago, and I still haven't put that up yet, but that might be an idea. And I even thought about using it as a ground plane, a tuned ground plane. So you could have your vertical antenna, and you make your hex cobweb into the tuned ground plane. Anyway, yeah, so I think, I was going to show you a web interface, wasn't I? So here's another project. So it uses this gadget here. So this is a circuit board I make that controls all the stepper motor stuff, and that's just in the box, in a 3D printed box. So if I go, there it is. Right. So this is what you get on your phone. So you control your rotator from. It's part of a project I've been working on, but I've put into it the ability to switch your stepper motor driven antenna switch, right, and then you got your rotator. But this is all a work in progress. Oh, I didn't show you the rotator yet. Anyway, you can do all sorts of stuff with this, like, oh, what's that? Oh, right. So your network, you change it. You can connect to your network and a port, and then you can look at it from anywhere in the world, basically. So if I update my dynamic address, then anyone could run this, but I mean, that's just besides the point anyway. But this thing can actually operate your stepper motor, see, that out in the garden. It's Wi-Fi, connected via Wi-Fi. You put 12 volts on it. All you've got to do is run 2 core down with your antenna cable for the 12 volts, unless you want to run it on solar panel or something. And then you can access this off your phone. So to change your antenna, you just go on your phone. Yeah, let's put it on. Let's put it on. So you got it on the phone. Hang on, you can't see it. So on your phone, same idea. So you just log in again, and you can switch a relay and go onto your rotator. You can't see, there it is, and you can just switch, and it tells you which one. It's basic stuff, and then that's your switch, and then you got your rotator. Well, that was the idea, to do it wirelessly off your phone. So you just connect your phone, or you can do it off your computer like this one. You can have one for your rotator, one for your switch, and then you can integrate it as well with its web API. So you can do all that. Anyway, that's that. Oh, fascinating stuff, yeah. And there's also another project I just want to show you. You like this one? This is the part of the same project, actually. So this is the 3D printed antenna rotator. I've got a little antenna on there. People laugh at this. So you got a controller on there and a stepper motor. That's the same circuit board that I made. Look, here it is. There's a mock-up of it. It's one of these circuit boards with a microcontroller that sits inside there, like that, inside. And you've got a space for your stepper motor driver, and you've got your stepper motor. And on the bottom of here, inside here, is a magnet. It's an encoder. There's a chip on a board that connects to the controller via I2C, and as you rotate it, it detects the direction you're on. So you don't need any stops or anything. You've got a little weatherproof cover that slots over it, like that. And it's belt driven, and these are all 3D printed bearings as well, so it'll take a bit of load. I've just put a thing on it just so you can see. So we've got to 3D printed this, but you use a real galv bracket. You bolt everything to a galv bracket. Yes, you just bolt it all to a galv bracket. And you've got a weatherproof enclosure that sits on as well. So there's that. Then you've got these weatherproof enclosures. So I made this to go with it. So you got a little screw at the bottom, 2 gland holes there, and a gland hole in the back. And it's curved to fit round, so you can pour water over it, and the water can't get in. It's got breathe holes at the bottom. So you just slide it on, and just keeps your circuit board. And it's also raised up on plastic, so if any water did get in, it just goes around the other side of it. Yeah, there's that. And then there's other stuff I made, which going back a while. This is a upside down. So you've got a T NeoPixel display, and you've got a LiDAR and a thermopile, non-touch medical thermopile, and a 2 meter LiDAR, and you've got an OLED screen and an LCD screen all working on there. So if I was to plug that in, I'd have to unplug. Hang on, nothing to do with the radio. Alright, I'm just unplugging my lead just so we can plug it in. I haven't tried this for ages. Let's just plug it in. And this will take your temperature, this thing will. Right, so it'll just boot up as long as I've left the firmware on it. As soon as Windows recognises the driver here. So there's your temperature. So you can see the LiDAR flashing in the camera. You've got your temperature sensor, so it says person detected. So just walk up to it like that. Yeah, and it tracks you up the screen. That's what it's supposed to do. Hang on. Right, so I'll just go up like that. Yeah, it's took my temperature. If it doesn't like your temperature, it'll light up red. I'll try it again. Ready? Hang on, you've got to come at it straight on. Yeah, you can change the threshold. So I can just go into it. Trigger temperature. I can lower the trigger temperature. So let's lower the trigger temperature. So a bit lower than ambient. And come out of that. And you have to come away from it, walk towards it. That's still 35.4, so I need to alter my trigger temperature some more. And guess what? It's going to flash at you red. That should do it. Right, here we go. So it says move forward, it says on it. So if I move forward. Yeah, it doesn't like it. Red, bad temperature. I've got it set, so My trigger distance is not quite right. Right, display view, offset, trigger distance. There we are. So it's on 60 millimeters at the minute. So let's bring that up to somewhere a bit higher. Okay, so trigger distance is set. So if I just move towards it, triggers a bit before we get there. Anyway, so there's that, and that's just old technology and not very interesting. But anyway, thought I'd show that off. Okay, is that about it? That's about it. So let's get on with. I've gone off on a bit of a tangent. Yeah. Might get one of these for work and say I can't come in. I've got a temperature. Yeah, that's what everyone should do. Get rid of their day job. Right, so I've just got to plug my USB back into this. So I'm going to pull it off the shelf and plug the USB back in. Can't actually see where it goes. Alright, let's plug that back up there. That's it, done. Right. Anyway, so let's get back on track. So what are we doing today? We're doing lightweight cat integration. So we're just getting all the features running again. So let's crack on. Yeah, so I've probably forgotten half the stuff. Yeah, don't know. That's it. Get up to all sorts here. What else do we get up to? Oh, old retro computers. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. What? Oh, little interlude there. No problem. No problem. Yeah, I did a coin dispenser as well, an RFID coin dispenser, which is it's a bit like watching something out of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. But anyway, it's a stepper motor, and it chucks. You put your coins in the top, which are the yellow ones of this. This is a bigger one. Those yellow ones, and they just drop in, and it chucks them out. Dispenses it, goes through an RFID reader and chucks one out in it, and you're supposed to use that then and go around the site. That was the whole idea. You can go use it on a car park, go out the door with it, go in a lift, go around the town, come back, open the door, get back in, get back up the lift, go to the pay machine, put your thing against the machine, tells you how much to pay, then you go out and then use the same token with you, carry it in your pocket, get to the barrier, put it in the machine, it swallows it and it lets you out. So yeah, so it's just come all or nothing, really, all or nothing. Right, let's carry on with this, otherwise we'll never get anything done. We've got some voices on here. Alright, I've got a few voices. I did want to have a play and have a listen tonight on here as well, yeah. Yeah, no problem. So basically I mess around with access control a lot, so hence the software. Oh, I haven't shown you the PS to the resistance yet, or whatever they call it. I haven't showed you that yet. Let's show you that. Right, let's just quickly show you that. It's some of the code's based off it, so you can talk to this if you want. If you get bored, you can talk to it. This is the main software.
Welcome to UPass.
Right, here's the main software. It comes in a shrink down version, or you can expand it and bring the whole thing over. It's a full screen. And you can talk to it. You can say things like, let me just turn that down. UPass, what time is it?
The time is 7:56 p.m.
So it uses a grammar, and it takes the UPass word out, and then whatever you say has to be in the grammar list. So if I go, UPass, what time is it? It's missed me that time. Does that just to, you know, annoy everyone. UPass, what time is it?
The time is 7:56 p.m.
And then you can run scripts. You can run a script. We've got standard war games scripts. Everyone loves a war game script. Oh, this gives me a chance to have a sip of my drink.
Shall we play a game?
Slow down.
Wouldn't you prefer a good game, Martian? How about a nice game of chess? Fine.
Anyway, so then you can control the UI and have a look at your events and all sorts of stuff. The same kind of stuff you do on a platform. ChatGPT and Gemini said this was a platform. I said it's an access control, and because it supports microcontrollers, it said it's more of a platform. So anyway, you can create your own scripts and all sorts of stuff. Let's shrink this down again. So I do weird stuff with this. I put a control, I put a list view in a list view in a list view in a list view. So basically this is a list view of engines. Now you can drop down the engine, and then you've got all the stuff you can interact with. So if you shrink it, you just see the top bit, and you can issue a voice command. UPass expand 8.1. Of course it's not going to do it now. UPass expand 8.1. UPass expand 8.1. There you go. UPass collapse all engines. There you go. UPass expand rack. UPass expand rack. Yeah, sometimes doesn't hear you. UPass collapse rack. That's collapsed it over to the primary monitor. Right. Anyway, and you got some funky stuff like this. Surveillance information, and you can do stuff like, oh dear, hang on, let's just do one more thing here. So you can go mesh about or installation.
Ardu PLC's Ultra Connect with UPass. Copyright 2012 to 2020 by David Paul Jones.
Yeah.
All rights reserved.
You can see the last time I worked on this was about 6 years ago. Anyway, was an early adopter. So you got, let me just show you the groups of parameters. These are crazy. Right, so you got groups of parameters. This is a list view, and you got a list view of engines. In the list view, you can do a drop down, a list view of configuration settings, and in there you've got a list view of settings for each subsection, and then you've got a list view of other settings. So you've got list view in a list view and a list view. Yeah. This is a weird way of doing it, I know. Anyway, I think I'm gonna stop that now. Let's just close it down.
Thank you for using UPass.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a platform. You can do stuff. If anyone said they needed something making, normally if you wanted to have software with firmware both ends and a platform and a control PCB, you might work on it for a year. Now if somebody says I want something to do a certain task, within a week and a half, I could add it to that and you've got this thing that would take a year. So I gotta go, Dave, and get something. I don't blame you. You pop back, yeah, no problem. Welcome anytime. Yeah, no problem. Have a good one. Don't know whether you, presumably you got radio, have you? They say 7.3 when they say goodbye, so I don't know if you knew that. If you're not a radio person, I don't know. Customer to say 73. Anyway, let's get this one back on. I'll do crack on for a bit. Do a little bit of work on it. Do a little bit of work. So here we go. Right. So I can't remember how far I got now. Yes, 73. Okay, yeah, nice one. Yeah, my call sign doesn't really come up on. So I've got the channel called Half Greek Geek, then it comes up with my name. Used to come up with Half Greek Geek. And so, I don't know, does it even matter these days? But that's why I stick the call sign in the description and that, you know, otherwise, yeah, no problem. Right, so I've got to work out what's going on here. Did I get this to work in the end? I can't remember. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Yeah, I got that sorted. So what I didn't get working was this bit here. Right, so I don't know if there's anyone on. Let's have a listen. Yeah, there's nobody on because they're all making cat controls, I think. They're all messing around with software. Ooh. Alright, that's some weird stuff. Where is he? Yeah, there's nothing much on here today. But the problem is my aerial's a bit rubbish. Oh, I can hear people. Oh, there's a bit of activity on here. I'll drag them out, get the signals that are in the skip. So it's just missed him there, it must be on the middle of the channel. So what I need to do is be able to tune him in. One, 3, 2. Yeah, it's gone from 132 500 to 133. So it's missed him there, isn't it? What I should do is have some way of adding that to this list once I've tuned it. I could add in. Yeah, I need a way of adding that to this list without it being, because once I've altered it, or whichever one I'm on, when you adjust it, it alters it. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? So if I happen to be on one and I do that, it alters it. I could do that easy. And then when you add it, at least it'd be bang on.
But anyway, okay, I see at 6 o'clock past 9, 7 o'clock past 9, and
Right, so there's another one that's missed. So it looks like it's on. Yeah, so it didn't get a response back. Oh, it did. Yeah, because it only adds them if the signal strength breaks the threshold. So they might not have been talking at that particular point. It caught him when it was off, maybe that's what happened. Anyway, so once you've got them, you can switch through them. There's a bit of a glitch there. I can hear it clicking. Yeah, it's fighting against when I'm clicking it. I can hear it click, but it's bringing back the old frequency. That didn't change then, look. Yeah, I can hear it clicking. So when I click, actually I haven't done anything with this one. I've only done this bit. That bit needs its own programming doing. Belgium? I suppose we ought to give them a shout. Let's put the tuner on. Hopefully it'll remember that. Right. Ocean Tango, something Tango.
Was there an Echo Victor station?
So what we're going to have one of these days, keep threatening this, is we're going to have a floating QRZ. Floating QRZ here. See you on Maker's World. Dave, see on Maker World. What is the title of the cage? It isn't coming up. Okay. Yeah. Hang on. Let's get it up for you. So, you want. It's under Half Greek Geek, but what? Alright, let's have a look. There's Half Greek Geek, and then there's your models. Yaesu FT891 protective cage slide something. Yeah, that's it there. Yeah, I'll put the link in if you like. Yeah, I'll paste the link. There you go, should take you straight to it. Like I say, it hasn't got the very latest stuff. That's the only trouble. I haven't actually updated it. So I'll go 3D. Let me get rid of this a minute. Let's just get rid of that a minute. So we've got certain things in. They are the current ones, it's just the very latest. It's got all the brackets and stuff for the mounting kit. It's even got the front plate. And that's all it's got, unfortunately. So it's the full thing apart from the red brackets that I use separately to the cage. They're not part of the cage, but yeah. I'm keeping you from... Oh! Ah, it don't matter. I'm chilling. I've been to work all day. I'm built to work all day, so this is me just chilling here. I don't know if anyone's downloaded this actually. Let's have a look. Oh, 8 downloads, 3 prints. So someone's had it. Someone's had a play with it. I've got also, if you're into breadboards, I've got this one I put up. Oh mate, that's it there, look. That's it, that's the actual thing there. That's it. So I've got the breadboards and I needed to something lightweight just to put the breadboards into. And I thought I'd put the rails in the middle. So there's that. 155 downloads, 101 prints. That's alright, yeah. Don't get anything from it. You get the odd person who'll say, make a comment. Exactly what I was looking for, thanks. Yeah, I'll share anything, me. I don't care. Right. Yeah, okay. Like I say, if you want anything, I'll have to update it. I did it once, I updated it from the old one to this one, and it ended up going corrupt, and then I lost all the amount of people who've had it, so I'm a bit reticent to touch it again. But I could create another entry and just put them on a separate thing. But you'd have to find them on there, like. Yeah. Anyway, if anyone does want the extra bits, I'll just upload them onto here. It's easy enough. It's only those 2 brackets. Right, so this is the thing running without the editing program. I was going to give him a shout, wasn't I? See, what I was going to create is a form here. Just underneath it, you click a button, and it puts your login stuff here. I suppose you could log a contact. So, just a single box, and all the stuff gets put in. He's gone a bit weak, hasn't he? Yeah, my aerial's not very good on 40 metres, unfortunately. I was thinking of trying one of those magnetic loops out, because I haven't got the space for big aerials. Anyway, let's just have a scan on anything on 80. Let's have a look. No, let's just knock the threshold down a bit. I've got the tuner on. Let's turn the tuner off. I can hear it clicking away. Nah, signal's always down on 80 metres. especially with this aerial. I've only got all I've got up at the minute is what is it, HF360, whatever it is, fiberglass thing. Yeah, so something not quite right here on his scanning. Yeah, so something not quite right when I was scanning. Let's try that again. So if I put... Oh, the threshold was too low, wasn't it? Let's put it up to 8 and scan again. Yeah, it's not doing the right thing, is it? I've broken it somewhere. So it is only updating when it adds 1, I think. No, it isn't. No, it shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, so let's carry on debugging. Carry on debugging, or debugging, is it bug if you haven't ever put the code in there to do anything? Right, so what I need to do is go back here, find out what's going on. Let's have a look. So I might be using some old code still. So it's sending the frequency out and then it's reading it straight back in. So it can then update the frequency on the display. Now, is it also updating the frequency from here? Probably, I don't know. Let's have a look. I can't remember now. No, that's just sending the cat, so that isn't even... That's a part of the old command still. That's part of the old command. So we're switching that, so that's the right setting now. And then we're storing the raw setting, the actual value. So add active station, updating the found station count. Oh, that's all we're doing there. It's not even worth a line of code. So adding the stuff to the list view, and then we're stopping. So one of these is causing a bit of havoc. This is that one. No, that's another cat command. Yeah, this is the old command. So I shouldn't be using that one at all now. So I need to do it in a different way. I need to do it like this. So I need to do a get set frequency, which is the same as I've done somewhere else. Right, so I need to bring that into here. Let's find it. I don't know where it is now. Where have I used that? Let's have a look down here. Set frequency, there it is. That's the one I've got to be using now. Right, that's the one I need to be using, I think. Still using part of the old one. Let's have a look. So let's introduce this into here. Well, that was the very second one. I took it out and put that one in, but that is still an old one. So that's not what we want. So I'm going to take that one out of the system a minute. I still want the delay. Oh no, do we need the delay? Hang on. No, we don't need the delay on that one. So let's get rid of that one. Right, so to set the frequency, got the memory slot, VFOA, it's the receive frequency, and current radio state, so we need to put that in there. Right, so where do we find that again? There it is. So current radio state. Okay, VFOA frequency. Because what happens now, every time you issue a command to read the frequency, it automatically updates this, the system does, and also sends out the frequency. Yeah, so that's the old function. Now, is it sending that one out still? I think it still is. Yeah, so still doing that anyway. Right, so it's basically the same as me doing it, but it's updating the display and everything now at the same time. Right, so we've got that there. So to send, that's a simple query for the frequency once it's been set. So yeah, let's try that. See if it makes any difference. I don't want to work all night on this. So how long have I been going? An hour and 40. I'm going to knock it on the head in about 15 minutes. Right, let's see what we got now. Oh, it's not moving at all now. That frequency's not changed at all now. Okay, that's interesting. So it's setting the frequency, but nothing's happening. Maybe it's because of that. Don't think so, but maybe. They have what they call a race condition. No, it's not that, is it? So, in that case, so that one seemed to work. So what was that doing that the other one wasn't? Nothing, just sending it out. Okay. Right, so that basically sends it out in a different way. Doesn't seem to be working, does it? Anyway, I had it working, didn't I? So it was all working up until I changed it to that. Let's try it back again. Yeah, sort of working, but it's, yeah, I need to work on that. Anyway, I've had enough tonight. Little bit at a time, little bit at a time. Oops. Right, so that works that way. And I can move the dial. It's quite slow at moving, so mind you, this mode, yeah, I've actually switched off some of the processing. Maybe I shouldn't have switched it off. Anyway, I'll do some more tests on that. So it's going to be a long-winded thing. I'll just put comment in there and push it onto the thing. Right, anyway, I think I've had enough for tonight. I need to go and watch something. Clarkson's Farm or something. Yeah, anyway. So, I've got to take some more rubbish out of the... out of the cat control. I'll probably strip it out because I'm getting confused between the two, so I'll get rid of the old stuff. Hey Andy, how you doing? Did I say it? Have you been in before today? I can't remember now. Hope you're alright, yeah. Yeah, I've put some stuff in there, and I've do it off display mode now. So you go on display mode, and it sends stuff. But I've only done the main one. So what I need to do is work out when we switch mode what it's going to send and receive. Yeah, so I've got a bit to do on it, mate. Anyway, I'm going to go and watch a film because yeah, it's one of them, innit? Can't work too many hours on it. So I've got it pretty much back. It's actually not as good as it was a week ago, or a few weeks ago. It's not as good, but it's because it's covered in. It's got 3 lots of different code in it, doing similar things. I need to wipe the slate clean, get it out of there. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go and watch something and have a chill. So that'll do for now. Thanks for watching. 7-3, and I'll catch you all later. I'm trying to spell later. It says alter. Oh, I can't spell. Never mind. You know what I mean. All right then. Bye bye.
Just find the right place in the program, make the appropriate change, and we'll run the whole thing again.
Speech is still very complicated. Music is simpler.
Is that a question?
Yes.
The question is futile.
My interpretation of the data leaves little room for error. The art of leadership is delegation.
That information is not available.
This constitutes all available data.
You know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished.